What if I told you fear doesn't just control our survival instincts? It secretly shapes our biggest life decisions. From career moves to love, and even the way we vote, fear plays a silent but powerful role in determining our path. But how? And more importantly, how can we take back control? Let's dive deep into the fascinating ways fear shapes decision-making and how to use it as a tool rather than a limitation. Fear is a primal emotion deeply embedded in human evolution. It activates the brain's amygdala, the area responsible for processing threats. When fear strikes, it triggers the fight or flight response, releasing stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. This chain reaction is designed to help us respond quickly to danger, but it can also cloud our judgment. Key effects of fear on the brain. 1. Hijacking logical thinking. The prefrontal cortex, which governs rational thought and planning, takes a back seat when fear dominates. This can lead to impulsive decisions. 2. Hyperfocus on threats. Fear narrows our attention to potential dangers, often causing us to overlook positive opportunities. Fear as a double-edged sword. Fear isn't inherently bad. In fact, it can be both a hindrance and a motivator, depending on how it's managed. Fear as a hindrance. Risk aversion. Fear often pushes people to avoid risks, leading to missed opportunities. For example, fear of failure might stop someone from starting a business or pursuing a dream. Paralysis by analysis. When faced with overwhelming fear, decision-makers may freeze, unable to choose a course of action. Overestimation of threats. Fear magnifies perceived dangers, making them seem more likely or severe than they truly are. This can result in overly cautious or irrational choices. Fear as a motivator. Driving action. Fear of negative outcomes such as failing an exam or losing a job can spur proactive behavior. Heightened focus. In some cases, fear sharpens attention, helping individuals prepare better for challenges. Fear and avoidance behavior. One of the most common ways fear shapes decision-making is through avoidance. When people fear something, they tend to steer clear of situations that might trigger discomfort or anxiety. For instance, career choices. A fear of public speaking might lead someone to avoid leadership roles, even if they have the qualifications. Relationships. Fear of rejection often causes people to stay silent about their feelings, leading to missed connections. The psychology of avoidance. Avoidance provides temporary relief from fear, but it reinforces the belief that the feared situation is truly dangerous. Over time, this creates a cycle that limits growth and opportunities. Social and cultural amplification of fear. Fear is not just a personal experience, it's also shaped by society. Media, politics, and cultural norms often amplify fear to influence decisions. Media and fear. Sensationalized news and clickbait headlines prey on fear to capture attention. For example, reports about crime spikes may lead to irrational decisions, such as avoiding safe areas or over-investing in security measures. Political fear-mongering. Politicians frequently use fear to sway public opinion, highlighting threats, real or exaggerated. Can lead to decisions based on emotional responses rather than facts. Fear and group decision-making. In group settings, fear can spread like wildfire, influencing collective decisions. This phenomenon is known as herd behavior or groupthink. Examples: panic buying. During crises, fear-driven decisions by a few can spark widespread panic buying, leading to supply shortages. Conformity. Fear of standing out or being criticized often compels individuals to agree with group decisions, even if they personally disagree. Overcoming fear's influence on decisions. The good news is that fear's impact on decision-making can be managed and even leveraged for better outcomes. Here's how. 1. Self-awareness. Recognizing fear is the first step. Ask yourself, am I making this decision out of fear or rational analysis? What's the worst-case scenario and how likely is it? 2. Reframe fear as a challenge. Instead of viewing fear as a roadblock, see it as an opportunity for growth. For example, fear of public speaking, frame it as a chance to build confidence. 3. Mindfulness and stress management. Techniques like deep breathing, meditation, and mindfulness help reduce fear-driven responses by calming the amygdala. Incremental exposure. Gradual exposure to feared situations builds confidence over time. This method, often used in therapy, helps rewire the brain's response to fear. 5. Seek evidence. Fear often stems from irrational assumptions. Look for data or past experiences that contradict your fears. For example, afraid to fail in a job interview? Reflect on instances where preparation helped you succeed. 6. Engage the prefrontal cortex. Pause and reflect before making decisions. Writing down pros and cons can help engage rational thinking over impulsive, fear-driven reactions. Case studies. Fear in action. 1. Personal life. Fear of rejection. A woman hesitates to ask for a promotion despite excelling at work. By reframing her fear as an opportunity to grow, she gathers the courage to advocate for herself and succeeds. 2. Business. Fear of failure. An entrepreneur delays launching a product due to fear of negative feedback. After researching competitors and gathering user feedback, he realizes the risks are manageable and goes on to build a successful business. 3. Global events. COVID-19, pandemic. Fear of the virus influenced decisions on travel, social interactions, and even investments. While fear led to beneficial behaviors like social distancing, it also triggered counterproductive actions like panic buying. The power of fear when harnessed. Fear is a natural and unavoidable emotion, but it doesn't have to control your life. When understood and managed, fear can be a source of strength, pushing you to prepare better, act decisively, and grow in unexpected ways. By embracing fear as a motivator and learning to navigate its pitfalls, you can turn this primal force into a powerful ally in decision-making. Fear shapes every decision we make, often without us realizing it. But here's the challenge. Will you let fear dictate your life, or will you take control, turning fear into a force for good? The choice is yours, and it starts with understanding how fear works.